Hello everyone, welcome to TryingToLearn channel. In today's video we will see how we can compile Java code with javac and Java command lines. So I have here a simple main.java file. If we try to compile it, we'll use javac and we pass it the file. Click enter, and as you can see here I have a new file here, .class. It is a bytecode that the JVM can understand. So to run this program, we have to use the Java command and we pass it the main.class, but without the .class extension. Click enter and hello world printed. So this is a very simple example. Okay, let's remove the main class and let's try to create another class, another file, user.java. Here creates a class, public class user. Let's have a single attribute name and the public constructor user string name dot name equal name. So this is a very simple user class, and now let's use it in the main.java. So here create a new object, user, call new user, give it any name and here instead of word we use the username. Okay, so we save this and let's try to compile the both of those files. So javac main.java and user.java. So we can compile like this, and we can compile only with the main.java because this one contains the main method. If we click enter, we have main.class and user.class. The user.class gets compiled also, even if we didn't include this here. But Java by default look for any source file that main needs in the current directory, and that's specified by the source path option. It's by default have a dot here. By default look for the current directory for any source files. So if we remove the dot classes now, let's create a directory called source and move all our source files inside it. And let's try to compile again. source/main. If we click enter now, it doesn't compile. Why? Because main depends on the user class, and Java tried to look for that user class in the current directory, but there is no user class here, so it fails. That's why we have now to fix it with the source path option, and it's by default have a dot here, which is the current directory. Instead we will give it where our source files exist, so it is in the source directory, and again source main.java. If we click enter, everything compiled. If we list the source, as you can see now we have the main.class and user.class. Okay, so let's try to run our program. We run our program with Java, and if we try to do something like this, for example, it won't work, or like this, because we don't have the source file, the .class files in the same directory. That's why Java can't find them, because it's always look for the current directory. But to specify the path where our .class files exist, we do that with the class path option, or use only the CP. So we just add here this src directory, because here we have the .class files, and then we call the main. If we do that, click enter, it's compiled. So this is why what cp4. It tells the Java command to look for the .class files in the directory that we give it here. Okay, so but we have something bad here. If we list the src, as you can see here, the source files and the .class files are in the same directory. And this is a very bad, not clean structure. So what we will do, let's remove all the .class files. Okay, let's specify src. Okay. And let's compile again. Okay, javac, and we specify the source path where our source files exist. It is in the source, and then we call the source main. If we run this program, it will generate the .class files in the same directory, but we don't want that. So that's where the -d option needs. So we have to specify here the directory where we should place the .class files. So let's call it, for example, bin or build. So this is we tell to Java that our source files exist in the source directory, and we have when it compiles, it should place all the .class files inside the build directory. If we click enter now, ls, we have a build at src. If we list the src, there is only source files, and if we list the build, there is only .class files. So this is a very clean structure. The source files have a in the directory and the .class in another directory. If we try now to execute, we have to specify where the .class files are. We specify that with the cp class path. Our .class files are in the build directory, and then we call the name of the class that contains the main method, which is main. Enter, and it will compile. So this is very simple explanation of how to use the javac and Java with some options like cp and the /d and the source path. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.